One of the reasons most countries have asked us to stay indoors in the fight of the coronavirus has been because of patient 31, coronavirus most popular patient. As of March 2020, she was said to be responsible for 60% of the coronavirus cases in South Korea. Before patient 31, South Korea, along with countries like Vietnam, Taiwan, Singapore, had the best epidemic control program of the virus. They refused entry of all foreigners traveling from infected areas, and citizens had to be quarantined for a minimum 2 weeks. So let's put this in perspective. Before patient 31, South Korea had its first case on the 20th of January. Introducing patient 31, the date was 7th of February. She had a car accident and showed a slight fever at the hospital, but the test results came back inconclusive. Then had a buffet lunch with a friend and had church services twice, taking Holy Communion on both occasions. She returned to the hospital 10 days later when her fever had worsened. Only then did she test positive for the virus. Within 24 hours, the cases rose by 20, then doubled the following day, and at the end of the week, South Korea had 1,000 new cases, all of them traced back to patient 31 as the primary contact or secondary contact. Countries like the US, Italy, and the UK all have their own patient 31. But what can we learn from this? Stay indoors? Stop the spread? Yes. The quicker we do this, the quicker we get rid of the virus, and we can return to whatever version of normal works for us. But staying indoors has come with a price. We have been attacked on every side with information, and our reflective response has been tested. Let's dive a bit into psychology and consider cognitive reflective responses. Research in the field of psychology has shown that some people are naturally better at overriding their reflective responses than others are. Example, if I ask the question, Mary's mother has 3 children. The names of the first 2 are May and June. What's the name of the 3rd child? Some would say July, while others who can override their reflective tendencies would say Mary. Again, if I ask you to say go for a minute non-stop, and I ask the question quickly, what do you do when you get to a red light? Some would say go, and others who can override their reflective thinking would say stop. To come to this solution, you need to pause and override your initial gut response. For this reason, CRT or cognitive response test questions are not so much a test of raw intelligence as a test of someone's tendency to employ their intelligence by thinking things through in an analytical fashion, rather than going with your initial gut intuition. The people who don't do this often are called cognitive misses by psychologists, since they may be in possession of substantial mental reserves, but they don't spend them. Cognitive misser illness render us susceptible to cognitive biases, and it also seems to change the way we consume information and misinformation. There's nothing wrong with us, we just need to override our reflective tendencies. It's a reflex. I would jump and hide at the sound of gunshots. A trained bodyguard or soldier would reflect and react differently. He would look out for where the shot came from and responded better, because he's been trained to reflect differently. Basically, stop and think. Whatever information comes your way, stop and think. Don't worry about everything, especially with the virus going on. For worry is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but takes you nowhere. These are facts no one shares on social media. Facts like, not everyone dies from the coronavirus. Over 2 million have been infected according to the WHO, and only about 170,000 people have died. This represents less than 10%. More people have actually recovered from the virus. Coronavirus is not a death sentence. We need to support those in the front line, doctors, nurses, caregivers, everyone working in a hospital. So the message is stay safe and stay indoors. And don't worry about the coronavirus. The incentive of social media is not the truth, but engagement. Be careful how you engage it. Remember, stop, think, and reflect. If we all try, we could learn to develop our cognitive responses. Until next time, take care.